Hello, guys. It's me again. Sorry if my voice sounds a little off. I just woke up and immediately saw that there was a update on the Space Marine Reddit thread for a new dev interview talking about future plans for the game. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. With Space Marine 2, you were taking a beloved game and finally making a sequel around a decade later. Are you feeling the pressure of the fans? Yes, the Warhammer 40k franchise has been around for 45 years now. I did not realize it was that old. Holy crap. And millions of people love the franchise in itself. The first game was very popular, but I also want to say that if you, as a fan of or as an action gamer, have never played the first game, don't worry about that. You can start with Space Marine 2 and it's a complete game. It's actually difficult to play the first game now because it's only on Steam. There's an expectation from Warhammer 40k fans that we treat the universe with respect and that we get things correct. Then there's an expectation from fans of the first game as well as just fans of Saber and action games. So yes, the expectations are high, but I believe that we have a game that will exceed those expectations. We have a very dense game with a campaign mode that you can play by yourself or with two friends. We have our PvE missions where the story kind of runs parallel to the campaign. And then we have a full 6v6 PvP mode with three game modes. We get three game modes for PvP on launch. So that's great. They didn't mention that before, which means there's three different things. There's probably a death match. We saw a capture the objective, or capture the zone. I'm gonna guess there also might be some kind of like search and destroy mission. I'm not sure what the third one will be. It's all wrapped together in our Saber proprietary technology with the Swarm Tech and AI director, so we believe we are delivering the true ultimate Space Marine experience. How long did it take to make this game? Games always take a long time nowadays. About 4 years or so in this case, but we're very proud of it. We're very happy with our work. The people who played the preview were happy. Pre-orders are great. Right now we're focused on September 9th, making sure servers are up and running for everyone, making sure that any issues are ironed up, but everything's looking good. It's all green lights. The game is fun and solid. So yeah, I'm excited about the launch. The game was originally meant to come out in late 2023. Can you share what were the reasons behind this 9 month delay, and what did you improve during this additional time? We just needed more time to polish it. You know the old saying, a game is only late until it ships, but a bad game is bad forever. We wanted to focus on making sure that every component, the single player campaign and the PvE co-op mode, all those were solid. There's a lot to this game, and I feel that players will feel good regarding value and content, and I have been There's a lot to this game, and I feel that players will feel good regarding value and content when you have all the systems, you have progression, you have multiplayer. Sometimes things take longer to get right, but I'm glad that we took the time we needed to make sure that we got it correct because Warhammer 40k fans want it correct. If we screwed something up, they would be mad. And so we really wanted to honor the franchise. We wanted to respect the universe. We wanted to make the game that people want to play. I love that. Of course, I wanted to play the game last year when it was supposed to come out. I signed up for the beta and everything, and seeing a full year delay to its launch was definitely disappointing. But seeing the quality of the game now, I am I am so happy that they did that because the game is even better than it probably was last year. Work closely with Games Workshop. Yeah, they were probably all over it. Includes the storyline, definitely. Uh, did you play the original? Oh, this is an interview. Blah blah blah. Interview didn't play the original, and you don't have to play the first one. Titus was the protagonist and was demoted to the end of the first game. Yes, and you spent 200 years in Deathwatch. This is kind of a fresh start for him, but we tried to add more personality and emotions into his story and his relationship with his squad mates and how they feel about him. He needs to win their trust while also saving the universe, so it's more than just a run and done game. Especially because nowadays gamers want more. They're not just fine with shooting like in the days of the original Doom. Yes, note that Warhammer 40k universe has been an inspiration for so many video games through the last decades. The original Doom Space Marine, chain swords and Gears of War, power armor in Fallout. This IP has influenced so many games, so I hope gamers who may be younger or may not understand the 40k universe can look at this and understand how effective it is. Speaking of the storyline, notice something while playing the preview. Titus's squad mates are very confrontational with him. Yes. Yes, he gets a little whiny and I want to punch him, but yes, he's like, what is up with you? There's even an event in game between him and Titus, but it's interesting to see how that plays out. Okay, alright. Based on your estimates, how long is the campaign? It took me 12 hours to complete it, but it all depends on how you play, on the difficulty, whether you are with your human buddies or by yourself, etc. PvE co-op mode basically continues the story of the campaign, right? Yes, when you play through the campaign, there are times when other Space Marine squads go off and do other important missions in the big storyline. So it's like there's one mission where you have to send a signal, the defenses have to be knocked out, you hear that there's a squad doing that. Well, when you're playing PvE operations, you're that squad. The battle is so big and there's so much going on that we've engineered these co-op missions to fit into the story and make you feel part of the bigger conflict. Now you have a classism for multiplayer modes. Can you talk about that? Indeed, are you familiar with World War Z? It's a little similar. Uh, same director as the as World War Z. Very good at progression, class identities, and attributes. I like that. World War Z is I think, a kind of an underrated game. As you play, even in PvE, as you progress, you unlock different classes and you earn experience. You can use some of that experience to upgrade characters, even in PvP. So it's like World War Z, where you have things like the Assault, the Heavy, the Support. We have Warhammer 40k names for them, but you can pick one that fits your style, and you can apply your experience to those classes. How deep is the progression for each class? It's deep. World War Z was deep. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I feel that players will be happy. Like World War Z, we will have updates where we will expand classes, weapons, and game modes all for free. Do you have plans to add new classes to Space Marine 2 post launch? This is important. They have plans to add more classes, more playable classes. We haven't seen it at all on the year one roadmap, so I guess it would probably be a year two thing. But it is going to be free. And that is something I am so excited about. I cannot wait to see how they adapt some new things to it. Obviously, people want to see like a librarians, a sanctioned psyker, chaplain, etc. And those are things that a lot of people like myself are very excited for. Is there some sort of randomness attached to the co-op mode to keep things interesting? Yes, and I've seen this in a lot of the footage that I've watched, where the game knows that you've played those missions before. When you play them again, you have different enemies, so you can play a mission and all of a sudden Chaos Marines show up. What? We have the Swarm deck. It comes back to our AI director, which is a key component. In our Swarm engine, we have the Swarm deck, which controls the actions of the swarms of Tyranids. When the swarm breaks and each Tyranid starts to come at you, then the AI director kicks in and it understands the state of the battles. You can bring in heavies, you can bring in ranged attack Tyranids. As a Space Marine, you are the ultimate killing machine. You are plowing through these Tyranids, but at some point you start to feel overwhelmed and you're fighting, and then you just finally make it through, barely enough armor left to survive. But you've done it, and that is all due to this very advanced AI director that helps orchestrate those battles. Are the class skills and multiplayer the same across PvE and PvP, or did you balance them differently? There are similarities, but there are also differences, because obviously fighting Chaos Marines is way more difficult than fighting Tyranids. There are behind-the-scenes changes and adjustments that allow for challenging yet approachable gameplay in PvP, as well as having fun with your buddies in PvE. I have, personally, in most games that I play, with the exception of, like, League, never really liked PvP. But I'd be lying if I said I was not excited for PvP in this game. It looks like so much fun. When you're in PvE, it's okay to feel overpowered. In PvP, not so much. Yes, what's great about PvP is something I call the Dance of Death, where you can't just button mash, you gotta move. You have your blocks, you have your grabs, you have your counters, you have your melees, you have your long melees, and then you have weapons. You need to keep moving and then attack, block, attack. So there's this Dance of Death that we've created in PvP. You're independent again with Saber CEO Matthew Karsh owning parent company Beacon Interactive after the split with Embracer. How does it feel and what changed? That's not stuff we care about too much. This is going more into industry. Alright. It looks like that's it. That's a decent amount for this interview, and I'm very excited for the future that the game has. I'll see you guys later.